Are you tired of working hard but never getting ahead? Imagine discovering a method to build real wealth without relying on luck, talent, or a trust fund. In this video, you'll learn practical step-by-step strategies that transform your skills, habits, and daily actions into long-term income and financial freedom. From mastering focus to turning knowledge into assets, these actionable insights are designed to change the way you approach success forever. If you're ready to take control of your financial future, make sure to subscribe to Audiobook every day for more life-changing strategies and guidance. Number 1. Build skills through consistent practice. The path to wealth begins with a single, ordinary thing. Skill. Not a flash of genius, not a lucky windfall, not an inherited cushion. Skill practiced day after day until it becomes reliable and valuable. This is not poetic wishful thinking. This is a practical contract with reality. The person who improves quietly, consistently, month after month, becomes better at solving problems other people will gladly pay for. The most important insight is simple. Competence compounds. Small improvements made every day produce outcomes that feel disproportionate to the effort when observed after months and years. That compounding is the secret engine behind every success story that was not gifted at birth. Start by drawing a clear map of the skill to be learned. A map prevents wandering. Break the skill into its smallest useful parts. Core knowledge, essential techniques, typical mistakes, and real-world contexts where the skill matters. For writing, the parts are grammar, structure, voice, storytelling, editing, and publishing. For sales, they are prospecting, opening, listening, presenting, handling objections, and closing. For coding, they are syntax, algorithms, debugging, version control, and system architecture. A map makes practice deliberate instead of random. Deliberate practice is not the same as repetition. It is focused work on the weakest link with immediate feedback. The mind grows where pressure and correction meet. Design practice sessions that target one tiny weakness until it is no longer a weakness. Create a schedule that treats practice as unavoidable work. Treat it like a job shift that cannot be swapped. Choose a time when mental energy is highest and guard that time. Protect the first hour after waking or a consistent afternoon block, whichever the body favors. For many, early morning has the advantage of fewer interruptions and a quieter mind. During that block, remove friction. Phone on airplane, notifications off, a clean desk, one window with a view or a lamp that focuses light on the work. The senses matter. Textured paper under the hand, the steady tap of a keyboard, the steam of coffee warming the face. Those small rituals become anchors that signal to the nervous system, work now. A ritual eliminates decision fatigue and lowers the barrier to start. Structure practice with short, intense repetitions, followed by reflection. Work in focused blocks of 25 to 60 minutes, then take a deliberate break. In focus blocks, the objective is measurable. Write 300 words of sharp copy, complete 3 debugging tasks, cold call 10 prospects, or rehearse a sales pitch until it shortens by 30 seconds and still lands. After each block, write a 2-minute log. What was attempted, what failed, and what will change next time. This log is the feedback loop. A skill improves fastest when failures are recorded and corrected promptly. Over time, that log becomes a ledger of growth, evidence that discipline matters more than inspiration. Design practice to produce public artifacts. The point is not practice for practice's sake. It is practice that creates something people can see, use, or buy. A public artifact is a blog post, a sale, a product demo, a small app, a gig completed on a freelance site, or a case study. Declaring a small public deadline forces focus, and public scrutiny accelerates learning through real feedback. If the work is hidden, feedback is delayed or absent. If the work is visible, customers, peers, or critics provide corrections that are more honest than internal judgment. This accelerates the path from competence to credibility to income. Adopt the mindset of an apprentice. Seek opportunities to trade time for learning under people who already succeed at what is being learned. The fastest way to compress time is to study someone further down the road and copy the processes that reliably produce results. Apprenticeship can be informal. Reach out with a concise message asking to observe, offer to help free for a short period, or ask for a single piece of feedback on a specific task. Most experts are busy but not indifferent. A focused question or a clear offer to assist often opens doors. Even a few weeks of close exposure to real work can replace months of isolated practice. Measure progress in outcomes, not hours alone. Hours matter, but outcomes matter more. Track the smallest possible indicators that show skill is transferring to the world. Number of useful features shipped, conversion rate improvement, client retention, average price charged, or time to complete a complex task. Use simple metrics and update them weekly. If numbers stagnate for more than a month, change the approach. Try a different mentor, a different practice routine, or shift to a new small project that forces new thinking. Consistent measurement makes complacency visible. Without it, the surface can look busy while the core remains unchanged. Accept friction as the teacher it is. Skill acquisition is fundamentally a series of small, controlled discomforts. The first attempts will be awkward. Hands fumble, sentences read wrong, code fails, sales calls are clumsy. That awkwardness is evidence of learning. Treat it like an ally. When fatigue or discouragement arrives, perform a simple stoic maneuver. Observe the feeling, label it, and take the next small concrete step anyway. The discipline of continuing in the presence of discomfort builds resilience, and resilience is the currency of long-range success. The person who can sustain disciplined effort through boredom and setbacks gains an advantage that luck cannot replicate. Use the principle of frequency plus intensity. Frequent short practice sessions compound with periodic deep work. Daily repetition builds a foundation. Weekly deep dives expand capability. For example, practice a language for 30 minutes every day, and once a week, do a 3-hour session focused on conversation with a native speaker or a long writing exercise. The daily work builds habit and skill retention. The weekly deep work forces integration and problem solving at a higher level. Both are necessary. Refine technique through targeted feedback. There are 4 primary sources of useful feedback: direct customers, peers who do similar work, mentors or teachers, and objective indicators, metrics, grades, error rates. Ask for precise feedback. Which sentence failed to land? Where did the logic break? Which part of the demo confused you? Vague praise is the enemy of improvement. Encourage specificity, and when possible, create structured tests. For example, ask 10 strangers to rate a headline for clarity and curiosity on a 3-point scale. The data will reveal whether the craft is improving or whether a different skill needs attention. Build systems, not one-off heroics. A system turns occasional energy bursts into reliable output. Systems are simple: a practice schedule, a review ritual, a public artifact pipeline, and a feedback loop. Commitments are easier to keep if they are embedded in a system. A system also allows scaling. When skill converts to income, the same system can be used to train new people, automate repetitive parts, or create templates that multiply productivity. Systems protect against motivational dips because they move responsibility away from fickle feelings and onto predictable processes. Focus matters. The modern world offers endless shiny distractions. The economy rewards depth. Choose one high-leverage skill at a time and pursue it until it becomes a meaningful asset. Multitasking fragments improvement. Narrow focus amplifies it. If a skill is adjacent, communication for a salesperson or Excel for a financial analyst, those are valid complements, but avoid the habit of perpetual sidestepping from one shiny skill to another. Depth is the rare commodity that commands premium compensation. Cultivate patience. The Stoic approach recognizes that results often lag practice. The internal work is immediate. The external rewards are delayed. That gap is not a problem if priorities stay aligned. Treat months as the unit of measurement, not days. Set quarter-length targets and measure weekly progress against them. If the compass is correct, small wins begin to arrive. A better client, a consistent stream of freelance gigs, a product that starts to sell. Each win is confirmation that the practice is working. Reinvest those wins into more practice and into buying marginal increases in leverage. Better tools, a course, a coach. Protect energy with simple rituals, consistent sleep, movement, and removal of decision clutter. Discipline cannot be sustained on borrowed energy. Sleep is an investment that repairs the brain's ability to learn. Movement, brisk walking, stretching, short workouts, keeps the body in tune with the mind. Reducing trivial decisions by having a simple wardrobe, a standard morning routine, a limited meal plan, frees mental bandwidth for practice. The fewer trivial choices that consume willpower, the more willpower remains for the work that matters. Finally, document the journey in words and numbers. A concise journal, 3 lines each practice day, focus, result, next action, creates a record that becomes a mirror. Over months, patterns emerge, times of day when clarity is highest, types of practice that produce acceleration, mentors whose feedback is gold. The journal is not vanity, it is data. Use that data to iterate the practice map. Adjust the map, not the destination. The destination is competence that creates value. The map changes as terrain is understood. This work is not glamorous. The most transformative moments are the quiet ones. An extra hour before sunrise, a clean paragraph finished at midnight, a call returned with empathy and a clear offer. The person who binds themselves to the small acts, focused practice, clear feedback, measurable outcomes, and patient resilience builds a fortress of skill that the market eventually notices. The market pays for solving problems it cannot solve itself. Those who bring rare, useful competence and make it visible are the ones who stop relying on luck and start relying on craft. Skill practiced with discipline becomes independent. Number 2, create value solving real problems. Creating value is the foundation upon which wealth is built. It is the bridge between effort and reward. The tangible reason someone is willing to exchange money, time, or attention for what you produce. Without value, all the ambition, planning, and skill in the world remains trapped in theory. The first step is understanding what value truly means. It is a solution to a problem that someone experiences, a gap between a desire and its fulfillment, or a need that must be satisfied. The more pressing or pervasive the problem, the greater the potential value in solving it. Wealth follows those who can identify these gaps and fill them reliably. The process begins with observation. Pay attention to the world around you. Listen to conversations, read forums, study trends, and watch behaviors. People express dissatisfaction more often than contentment. Those complaints are clues, unspoken blueprints of opportunities that, when addressed, translate directly into value. A simple daily habit of noting problems can reveal patterns. Keep a small notebook or a digital list dedicated exclusively to problems you notice. Every day aim to capture at least 3. These do not need to be grand or revolutionary. Minor frustrations that recur are often better starting points because they indicate consistent demand. The trick is to see these problems not as annoyances, but as opportunities waiting for a practical solution. Once a problem is identified, deepen your understanding. Surface-level recognition is not enough. Spend time exploring its causes, consequences, and context. Interview people experiencing the problem, observe the routines surrounding it, and imagine what a life without that problem would look like. Empathy becomes the secret tool in this stage. Understanding the emotional, financial, or time-related pain the problem causes transforms a vague idea into a precise target for intervention. When you truly understand the impact of the problem, you are no longer guessing what might help. You can design a solution that resonates deeply and genuinely improves someone's life. Next comes the design of the solution. Value is not inherent in effort, it is inherent in outcomes. The solution must be functional, reliable, and accessible. It does not need to be perfect from the outset, but it must address the core pain convincingly. Focus on the simplest solution that works. Complexity can impress, but it rarely converts into real-world utility. Test multiple small versions, prototypes, or experiments. Observe how people respond, which elements they use most, and where confusion or friction arises. The goal is not to create an ideal solution in isolation, but to iterate toward a tool, service, or product that genuinely alleviates the problem. Once a viable solution exists, ensure it reaches those who need it. Creation without delivery produces zero value. Distribution requires clarity, consistency, and persistence. Identify the channels where the target audience engages: online communities, professional networks, social media, marketplaces, or local hubs. Tailor messaging to highlight the problem being solved, not the features of the solution. People respond to outcomes, not explanations of effort. Show them a before and after scenario they can relate to. Visibility amplifies value because even the best solution is worthless if no one knows about it. This is where persistence intersects with creativity. Continually refine communication, expand networks, and explore channels until the solution meets the audience consistently. Measuring the effectiveness of your solution is essential. Value is confirmed through impact. Track usage, engagement, satisfaction, or tangible benefits. Quantify results whenever possible. Time saved, money earned or retained, stress reduced, efficiency increased. Feedback should be actively sought, not passively awaited. When people provide critique or suggestions, treat it as gold. Each insight allows you to refine the solution, enhance usability, and increase relevance. Avoid the trap of assuming value without evidence. Objective indicators, combined with subjective impressions, create a full picture of whether your effort is truly producing meaningful results. Scalability is the next dimension of value creation. Individual problems can generate modest returns, but systemic solutions produce wealth that compounds. Identify patterns across industries, demographics, or behaviors. A problem solved for one person might exist in thousands or millions. Transform a personal solution into a process, a product, or a service that can serve many without proportionally increasing your effort. Standardize and document procedures, build templates, create digital tools, or develop instructional frameworks that multiply the effect of your modern solution. True leverage lies in turning singular insight into a mechanism that operates on a larger scale. Adaptation is crucial. Problems evolve, environments shift, and what was valuable yesterday may be less so tomorrow. Continuously monitor changes in preferences, regulations, technologies, and cultural trends. Flexibility allows solutions to remain relevant and in demand. Adopt a mindset of constant improvement. Seek new insights, test variations, and anticipate emerging pain points before competitors. The most successful value creators are those who respond to the world as it changes, adjusting their offerings with foresight rather than reacting to obsolescence. Communication of value is an art. It requires clarity, empathy, and persuasion without manipulation. Explain how the solution intersects with the audience's needs, demonstrating practical benefits in relatable terms. Use stories, testimonials, and real examples to illustrate impact. Emotional resonance strengthens the perception of value because humans do not act solely on logic. They act on the combination of understanding, trust, and the anticipation of improvement in their lives. Communicate consistently and authentically, ensuring that every interaction reinforces the reality that your work solves a meaningful problem. Persistence underpins every step. Initial attempts may fail, feedback may sting, and the market may resist. Yet each failure carries insight if approached deliberately. Revisit earlier steps, observe more closely, deepen understanding, refine the solution, communicate more effectively. The ability to endure and iterate separates those who merely attempt from those who succeed. Value creation is rarely instantaneous. It is cultivated through repeated cycles of observation, problem-solving, and delivery. Patience, coupled with relentless attention to quality and relevance, eventually results in recognition, demand, and reward. Finally, integrate value creation into daily practice. Treat every interaction, project, or observation as a potential source of insight. Approach each task with a mindset of contribution. How can this improve someone's life, simplify a process, or solve an existing frustration? This orientation transforms ordinary work into a disciplined pursuit of meaningful impact. Over time, the compounding effect of consistently creating solutions that matter builds not just competence, but credibility, reputation, and the financial rewards that follow naturally. Wealth, then, is not a lucky accident. It is the visible outcome of repeated, deliberate acts of value creation. By consistently focusing on solving real problems, the journey becomes both practical and fulfilling. The work itself gains purpose, and the market responds to authenticity and reliability. Each solution implemented, refined, and delivered accumulates as evidence of capability and a growing track record of trust. People pay for outcomes they cannot achieve themselves. When effort consistently produces these outcomes, the exchange of value for compensation becomes predictable, repeatable, and ultimately sustainable. Mastering the art of creating value transforms the abstract idea of wealth into a tangible and achievable reality. This approach requires discipline, observation, empathy, communication, iteration, and patience. Each element compounds, reinforcing the others, creating a feedback loop that magnifies both skill and impact. Individuals who understand this principle see opportunity where others see frustration. They move steadily, deliberately, and intelligently, building assets that generate income, influence, and freedom. Wealth, in its most reliable form, is the natural byproduct of mastering the process of solving real problems. This is the essence of creating value, identifying what matters, acting decisively, and refining continuously until impact is undeniable and irreplaceable. Number 3. Start small, scale proven systems. Success often begins in the smallest spaces, with actions so humble they can be overlooked. The most reliable way to build wealth without relying on luck or inherited advantages is not to leap into grandiose ventures, but to start small and master the systems that make growth repeatable and predictable. Every large enterprise, every successful individual began by proving a concept on a tiny scale before expanding it into something greater. This principle is deceptively simple. Small beginnings allow learning without catastrophic risk, and scaling proven systems multiplies effectiveness while minimizing uncertainty. The first step is identifying a system that works. A system is a repeatable method or process that produces predictable outcomes. It could be a sales funnel, a content distribution strategy, a production workflow, or even a disciplined approach to client acquisition. Systems transform effort into results consistently because they do not rely solely on energy, inspiration, or improvisation. They are designed to capture knowledge, optimize action, and maintain quality. The key is to start with a system small enough to manage, measure, and refine without overwhelming resources. Small beginnings have several advantages. Financial risk is limited, which reduces stress and allows clearer thinking. Mistakes can be corrected quickly because they are concentrated in a narrow scope. Feedback loops are shorter, making the learning cycle faster. Most importantly, small starts allow for experimentation. When a method is unproven, testing it on a manageable scale lets you observe what works, what fails, and how improvements can be implemented without jeopardizing everything. Early victories, even minor ones, build confidence and a foundation for scaling. Once a small system shows reliable results, it is time to optimize it. Optimization involves examining every step in the process and asking, can this be done more efficiently? Can it produce better results? Can it reach more people? Efficiency does not mean cutting corners. It means identifying redundancies, automating repetitive tasks, and creating standardized procedures that maintain quality while increasing output. Each improvement is incremental, but over time these increments compound. A system that produces consistent value in a small setting can become remarkably powerful when expanded. Scaling begins with replicability. A system must operate reliably under increasing demands. Document processes clearly, define each step, the inputs required, the expected outcomes, and the contingencies for common errors. The goal is to create a framework that can function independently of the founder's constant intervention. Replication reduces bottlenecks and ensures consistency as volume grows. Whether expanding a business, growing an audience, or increasing production capacity, systems that are replicable can be handed to others or automated without losing control over quality or results. Automation plays a central role in scaling. Tasks that are repetitive, predictable, and time-consuming are ideal candidates for automation. Simple digital tools can handle scheduling, reminders, client communications, and data collection. More advanced automation can manage inventory, process transactions, or deliver content at scale. The advantage is not merely convenience, it is leverage. One person can influence many without exponentially increasing personal effort. The judicious application of automation ensures the system grows faster than the effort required to maintain it, turning small beginnings into powerful engines of productivity. Delegation is another critical component. As systems prove successful, certain elements should be assigned to capable individuals who can execute according to established standards. This is not outsourcing for its own sake, but a deliberate transfer of responsibility that frees the system owner to focus on strategy, improvement, and expansion. Delegation multiplies the reach of the system without fragmenting quality, and it allows the business or project to operate beyond the limits of a single person's time and energy. Each additional capable contributor is a lever that increases output while preserving the integrity of the system. Monitoring and continuous improvement are non-negotiable. Even well-designed systems encounter unexpected challenges or inefficiencies as they scale. Track key metrics closely. Output quality, conversion rates, customer satisfaction, cycle time, and cost efficiency. Analyze where bottlenecks emerge, where errors occur, and where capacity can be increased. The system should evolve constantly, not stagnate. Adaptation ensures that growth is sustainable, preventing small early successes from collapsing under the weight of larger demands. Scaling without monitoring invites failure. Scaling with insight ensures longevity. Patience is essential throughout this process. Systems take time to refine, and scaling introduces complexity that can be intimidating. Growth is rarely linear. Expect setbacks, inefficiencies, and periods of slower progress. These are not signals to abandon the approach, but opportunities to learn and strengthen the structure. Resilience underpins all effective scaling. By starting small, you limit exposure to catastrophic failure, allowing time and energy to focus on improvement rather than emergency recovery. Each challenge conquered at a small scale builds the resilience necessary for larger undertakings. Focus remains a guiding principle. Concentrate on systems that yield the highest return on effort and produce tangible outcomes. Avoid dispersing attention across multiple untested initiatives simultaneously. Depth and mastery of one system, executed with precision and improved iteratively, produce far more meaningful results than shallow engagement with many projects. The discipline to maintain focus allows compounding results, ensuring that the benefits of scaling accumulate rather than dissipate. Documentation and clear communication are vital as systems grow. Processes, roles, and responsibilities must be transparent to anyone who interacts with the system. Written guides, standard operating procedures, checklists, and templates prevent errors and ensure that quality is preserved even when multiple individuals or automated tools handle parts of the operation. Clear documentation reduces reliance on memory and intuition, which can degrade under increased complexity. A well-documented system is both easier to scale and more resilient to unexpected challenges. Starting small also cultivates humility and adaptability. When beginning with limited scope, it is easier to see weaknesses and accept feedback. These early lessons prevent arrogance from guiding decisions at a scale where mistakes are costly. Humility allows systems to evolve intelligently. Being adaptable ensures that scaling is responsive rather than rigid. Success at a small level becomes the laboratory where principles are tested, improved, and validated before being deployed on a larger stage. Each scaled system must maintain alignment with its original purpose. It is tempting, as growth occurs, to pursue size over substance. Systems that grow without a clear focus on value lose their effectiveness and credibility. Always return to the core problem the system solves and the outcome it seeks to produce. Scaling should amplify impact, not dilute it. By preserving the integrity of the system while expanding reach, the results are meaningful, measurable, and sustainable. The mental framework for this approach emphasizes discipline, consistency, and clarity of action. Treat every small implementation as a proof of concept. Observe, learn, optimize, and replicate. Each cycle reinforces skill, knowledge, and confidence. Each incremental expansion validates the approach and provides a foundation for the next step. Wealth accumulates, not from grand gestures, but from a disciplined, methodical approach where small beginnings evolve into robust, efficient, and productive systems. Scaling proven systems is the bridge from ordinary effort to extraordinary results. By starting small, learning rigorously, and expanding deliberately, it is possible to create structures that generate sustained value, multiply impact, and produce long-term financial and personal freedom. This approach eliminates reliance on luck or inherited resources, because success is engineered through design, disciplined execution, and the intelligent application of leverage. Every substantial achievement begins with a manageable, deliberate step, and through careful iteration, patience and refinement, those small steps grow into enduring, life-changing outcomes. Number 4. Master saving. Invest surplus wisely. Financial freedom begins with discipline, not fortune. Mastery of saving and investing is the foundation on which lasting wealth is built, and it is accessible to anyone willing to act with foresight and restraint. The first insight is that income alone does not create wealth. Without deliberate management, even a high income can vanish through small repeated choices, unnecessary purchases, overlooked fees, impulsive decisions. The moment you recognize that money is a tool rather than a reward, you gain control. Every dollar saved becomes a soldier. Every dollar invested becomes an architect building a future beyond immediate desires. Begin by understanding exactly how money flows in and out of your life. Track every expense meticulously for at least a month, separating needs from wants and distinguishing between essential obligations and discretionary spending. Seeing the reality of your finances brings clarity. Often, small leaks, subscriptions, impulsive buys, unmonitored habits consume far more than imagined. Awareness is the first step toward mastery. It is impossible to improve what cannot be measured. A disciplined ledger, whether digital or physical, becomes a mirror reflecting true priorities and exposing hidden waste. Next, establish a saving framework that is both aggressive and realistic. Aim to consistently save a meaningful portion of income, starting with an amount that challenges but does not overwhelm. The exact percentage matters less than the principle. Saving is habitual and non-negotiable. Automate the process so that savings are allocated before they can be spent. When saving is automatic, discipline is embedded into the system rather than relying on willpower alone. The automatic transfer removes the psychological battle against impulsive consumption and solidifies a foundation for investment. Each saved dollar represents both protection against uncertainty and an opportunity for growth. Understanding the difference between saving and investing is critical. Savings preserve capital and provide security, often in liquid and low-risk forms, such as high-yield accounts or short-term instruments. Investing, however, is the art of putting surplus capital to work to generate additional wealth. It requires research, patience, and a willingness to tolerate calculated risk. The goal of investing is not speculation or gambling. It is the strategic deployment of resources into opportunities that yield returns greater than inflation and create compounding growth. Every decision to invest should be informed by both data and principle, ensuring alignment with long-term objectives. Diversification is a practical safeguard in investment. Allocating funds across different asset classes, industries, or geographic regions spreads risk while retaining growth potential. Concentration may produce high returns occasionally, but exposes one to catastrophic failure if circumstances change. Diversification does not guarantee profits, but reduces vulnerability to unforeseen events. It allows consistent progress toward financial goals without being derailed by volatility. Evaluating risk and opportunity carefully enables deliberate exposure that balances potential reward with the preservation of capital, ensuring steady accumulation over time. Compounding is the most powerful ally in investing. Time, patience, and disciplined reinvestment magnify small contributions into substantial results. Even modest amounts consistently invested and left to grow generate outcomes that surprise those who expect linear progress. The secret is consistency and avoidance of unnecessary withdrawal. Treat each invested sum as a seed. Resist the temptation to harvest prematurely. By understanding and respecting the mechanics of compounding, Patience becomes a strategic advantage rather than a waiting game. Prioritize high-quality assets that provide durability, liquidity, and growth potential. Research historically stable instruments, emerging opportunities, and tangible assets that appreciate or generate income reliably. Avoid the allure of trends, hype, or complex products whose mechanics are unclear. Simplicity and clarity in investment decisions reduce mistakes, enable better monitoring, and increase confidence. The goal is not to chase every opportunity, but to establish a portfolio capable of producing steady returns while preserving capital. High-quality investments reduce anxiety and provide freedom to think strategically rather than react emotionally. Risk management is essential. Every investment carries potential loss, and understanding the worst-case scenario is non-negotiable. Determine exposure limits, allocate funds according to tolerance, and never bet critical reserves on speculative ventures. Protecting capital is as important as seeking growth, because wealth creation is cumulative. Avoiding ruin ensures continuity of opportunity. The mindset of preservation allows long-term strategies to function without disruption, ensuring that setbacks are temporary lessons rather than catastrophic failures. Develop a clear plan for reinvestment. Profits and dividends should be systematically allocated back into the system to accelerate growth. Reinvestment amplifies returns and compounds skill in managing finances. Treat every gain as a tool for further advancement, not a license for immediate consumption. A disciplined reinvestment strategy transforms intermittent gains into reliable momentum, gradually increasing both security and financial influence. Over time, the power of reinvestment separates those who merely earn from those who multiply and sustain wealth. Maintain control through periodic review and adjustment. Life circumstances, market conditions, and personal goals evolve. Evaluate financial strategies regularly, reassess risk tolerance, and adjust allocations accordingly. Flexibility is not a weakness, it is strategic responsiveness. Reviewing metrics, net worth, savings rate, investment performance, and liquidity provides insight into whether principles are being followed and achieved. Course correction is an indicator of wisdom, not failure. The disciplined investor learns continuously and adapts without compromising core priorities. Avoid lifestyle inflation, a subtle yet pervasive threat. As income rises, the temptation to spend more on comforts, status symbols, or conveniences is strong. Resisting this impulse preserves the ability to save and invest aggressively. Frugality is not deprivation, it is strategic allocation. Every avoided expense represents an opportunity to accelerate financial progress. Conscious moderation ensures that increased earning capacity translates into compounding wealth rather than disappearing in immediate gratification. The discipline of measured living magnifies the impact of both income and investment decisions. Cultivate knowledge and skill continuously. Understanding financial instruments, market dynamics, taxation, and macroeconomic trends enhances decision-making and reduces reliance on external advisors. Education in finance is cumulative. The longer it is pursued, the greater the compounding effect on decision quality. Informed investors make choices that balance opportunity and risk intelligently. Knowledge itself becomes a leverage point, transforming ordinary savings into strategic growth engines, capable of weathering uncertainty. Psychological resilience is as important as technical skill. Fear, impatience, and impulsiveness are enemies of effective saving and investing. Develop the ability to delay gratification, accept temporary setbacks, and maintain discipline under fluctuating conditions. Emotional control ensures rational decisions, which produce reliable results over time. Wealth is built on steady, repeated actions, not sporadic brilliance. The ability to remain calm, focused, and strategic under pressure compounds the effects of disciplined action, amplifying both security and opportunity. Lastly, align financial decisions with broader life goals. Money is a tool, not an end. Investments, savings, and spending should reflect personal values, desired lifestyle, and long-term aspirations. When financial behavior aligns with purpose, discipline becomes easier and motivation more intrinsic. The synergy between vision and action creates clarity, reinforcing the habit of saving and investing wisely. Wealth accumulates not merely through effort, but through purposeful, deliberate, and consistently executed decisions that serve both present security and future opportunity. By mastering the art of saving and the strategy of investing surplus wisely, financial independence ceases to be a distant abstraction. Each disciplined choice, automated allocation, thoughtful investment, and deliberate review constructs a robust framework for sustainable growth. Wealth emerges naturally as a consequence of prudence, insight, patience, and strategic action. Those who understand this principle transform limited means into enduring resources, achieving security, freedom, and the ability to pursue larger ambitions without reliance on luck or inherited advantage. Mastery of money is mastery of choice, and through disciplined practice, abundance becomes both achievable and inevitable. Number 5. Turn knowledge into digital assets. Knowledge is one of the most powerful currencies in the modern world, but its true potential is unlocked only when it is transformed into a digital asset. Unlike physical resources, digital assets can be replicated, distributed, and scaled indefinitely with minimal additional cost. A single idea, once captured, can generate repeated value across time, geography, and audiences. The challenge lies not in acquiring knowledge; information is abundant, but in structuring, packaging, and delivering it in a way that creates utility, attracts attention, and produces measurable outcomes. Turning knowledge into digital assets is a strategy that allows anyone to convert expertise into lasting impact and sustainable income. Begin by identifying your unique expertise or insight. Every person has a combination of experiences, skills, and understanding that is valuable to others. The goal is to locate areas where your knowledge can solve real problems or answer pressing questions. It might be a professional skill, a hobby mastered over years, or even a perspective on personal development that resonates with common struggles. Clarity about what you can teach, demonstrate, or explain is the foundation for building assets that others will find useful. The more precise your understanding of your value, the more effective the resulting asset will be. Next, consider the format in which knowledge will be transformed into a digital asset. Options are numerous: ebooks, online courses, video tutorials, podcasts, software tools, membership sites, templates, or newsletters. Each format has advantages depending on the type of knowledge, the target audience, and the desired level of engagement. For example, technical skills often benefit from step-by-step video instruction, whereas conceptual frameworks may be more accessible in a written guide. Choosing a format is a strategic decision. It should align with both the learning style of the audience and the scalability of the asset. Organization is crucial. Knowledge alone, when scattered or unstructured, holds limited value. Structuring content logically, with clear sections, progressive learning steps, and actionable guidance, increases usability and appeal. Break down complex topics into digestible modules, each building upon the previous one. Include exercises, examples, and applications that allow learners to implement ideas immediately. Structured content not only facilitates comprehension, but also enhances perceived value, making it easier to monetize. The goal is not to overwhelm the audience with raw information, but to convert understanding into practical, usable outcomes. Digital assets require attention to quality and accessibility. Clear audio, high-resolution visuals, readable text and user-friendly interfaces significantly enhance the audience's experience. Poorly presented knowledge, even if accurate, diminishes credibility and reduces engagement. Invest in tools, editing, and design that elevate the presentation. Quality signals expertise and encourages trust, making it more likely that users will complete the material, share it, and return for future offerings. A well-crafted digital asset demonstrates professionalism and amplifies the value of the underlying knowledge. Distribution and visibility are essential for creating impact and monetization. Unlike physical products, digital assets can reach a global audience instantly, but only if they are discoverable. Leverage platforms that align with your format. Learning management systems for courses, online marketplaces for templates, or podcast platforms for audio content. Marketing strategies should focus on demonstrating clear outcomes, showing how the asset solves a problem or improves the user's life. Authentic communication and evidence of effectiveness through testimonials, sample content, or case studies reinforce credibility and encourage adoption. Monetization strategies should be deliberate and scalable. Options include one-time purchases, subscriptions, licensing agreements, or premium memberships. The structure chosen should reflect both the type of content and the expectations of the audience. Experimentation may be necessary to identify the optimal approach, but the underlying principle is consistent. Digital knowledge can generate repeated revenue without a linear increase in effort. Each transaction reinforces the value of the asset, creating leverage and freeing the creator to focus on expansion or improvement rather than recreating the core content. Iterative improvement is a critical component. Digital assets are not static. They evolve based on feedback, new insights, and changes in demand. Collect data on engagement, completion rates, and user satisfaction. Encourage direct feedback through surveys, comments, or community forums. Use this information to refine content, update examples, clarify explanations, and add new features. Continuous improvement ensures relevance, maintains quality, and maximizes long-term returns. The best assets grow in value over time as they adapt to meet the changing needs of the audience. Protecting intellectual property is an important consideration. Digital content is easily copied or misused, so establishing clear ownership, licensing terms, and usage guidelines safeguards both revenue and reputation. Copyright notices, platform controls, and licensing agreements reduce unauthorized distribution. Protecting assets allows the creator to maintain control while providing users with reliable, legitimate access. Security measures reinforce trust and create a sustainable framework for long-term value creation. Scalability differentiates a digital asset from traditional labor-based income. Unlike hourly work or service delivery, digital knowledge can reach millions with minimal incremental cost. Once created, the same asset can be distributed repeatedly, providing consistent value and generating ongoing income. This leverage transforms individual expertise into a self-sustaining engine of influence and revenue. The key is focusing on quality, usability, and accessibility so that replication enhances rather than diminishes impact. Collaboration and networking enhance the reach and richness of digital knowledge. Partnering with others who have complementary expertise or access to different audiences can accelerate distribution and credibility. Joint ventures, co-created content, or guest contributions expand the depth and breadth of the asset. Leveraging networks allows for cross-promotion and exposes the material to audiences that might otherwise remain inaccessible. Strategic collaboration multiplies the effectiveness of the original knowledge while maintaining control over quality and direction. The mindset required to turn knowledge into digital assets emphasizes patience, discipline, and foresight. Immediate returns are rare. Initial effort focuses on research, content creation, and system setup. The payoff arrives over time as the asset reaches more users, accumulates reputation, and generates repeated engagement. This delayed gratification rewards consistency and foresight. Treat each stage as an investment in a long-term structure rather than a short-term payout. Over time, the cumulative effect transforms expertise into enduring value and sustainable wealth. Documentation and record-keeping are indispensable. Maintain a clear record of content versions, user feedback, performance metrics, and operational processes. Documentation ensures that the asset can be updated efficiently, scaled reliably, and even delegated or sold if desired. It also provides insight into what works and what does not, creating a roadmap for future asset creation. Knowledge without organization is fleeting. Structured documentation converts intellectual labor into tangible, repeatable, and scalable outcomes. Ultimately, turning knowledge into digital assets is about creating leverage. Each piece of information becomes a tool that works independently, extending influence and producing results beyond the creator's direct effort. By systematically identifying expertise, structuring content, presenting it professionally, distributing it widely, and continuously improving it, knowledge transcends its static form to become a living resource. It can educate, inspire, solve problems, and generate financial returns long after the initial effort. In a world where information is abundant but clarity and usability are rare, transforming knowledge into digital assets establishes a durable, scalable, and impactful form of wealth creation. The transformation of insight into tangible, usable digital assets empowers individuals to break free from limitations imposed by time, location, and personal bandwidth. Each asset captures the essence of understanding and extends its reach indefinitely. Through disciplined execution, strategic design, and consistent refinement, knowledge is no longer merely learned. It becomes a tool for influence, growth, and lasting security. The act of turning what you know into something others can access and benefit from is the gateway to multiplying both impact and reward in a world increasingly driven by digital systems. Number 6. Leverage time with automation tools. Time is the most finite resource any person possesses, yet it is also the most powerful lever when managed intelligently. Human effort is limited by hours in a day, but automation extends influence far beyond personal capacity. Leveraging time with automation tools is not about laziness, it is about multiplying impact, creating consistency, and freeing mental energy to focus on high-value activities. Every successful entrepreneur, creator, and innovator understands that the smartest use of effort is to apply it strategically, not continuously. Automating repetitive or predictable tasks transforms ordinary productivity into extraordinary results. The first step is identifying tasks suitable for automation. These are often repetitive, routine, and time-consuming activities that do not require complex judgment or emotional nuance. Examples include scheduling, email responses, data collection, social media posting, payment processing, and reporting. By analyzing daily workflows and documenting the steps in each process, it becomes clear which activities consume the most time relative to their strategic value. This audit creates clarity, showing where automation can save hours, reduce errors, and increase efficiency without sacrificing quality. Selecting the right tools is critical. The digital ecosystem provides countless options, from simple task schedulers to advanced artificial intelligence platforms capable of performing complex operations. Choosing tools should align with the specific goals of automation, reliability, ease of use, and integration with existing systems. A small error in setup can amplify inefficiency rather than resolve it. Therefore, evaluating functionality, compatibility, and scalability is essential. The right tool not only saves time, but also creates a predictable framework in which tasks execute consistently, providing a foundation for growth and expanded capacity. Automation begins with small, manageable implementations. It is unwise to attempt comprehensive system replacement in a single step. Start by automating one process completely, monitoring outcomes, and adjusting as necessary. Small wins build confidence, reveal potential pitfalls, and create a blueprint for further automation. Each successful iteration reinforces both understanding and discipline, making the expansion of automation smoother and less prone to disruption. Incremental deployment ensures that control is maintained while efficiency grows. One of the most powerful applications of automation is in communication. Email marketing, customer relationship management, and social engagement platforms allow messages to reach the right audience at the right time, without constant manual intervention. Automated sequences nurture relationships, provide value, and guide users through processes consistently. The ability to maintain personalized interactions at scale transforms what would otherwise require extensive manual effort into a seamless, ongoing system that generates engagement, trust, and conversion. Consistency through automation builds credibility and maximizes influence. Data management and analysis benefit immensely from automation. Collecting, organizing, and interpreting large volumes of data manually is slow, error-prone, and mentally draining. Automated tools can gather data in real time, generate reports, and even highlight trends or anomalies that require attention. This allows decisions to be informed by accurate, timely information, rather than intuition or incomplete observation. Automation in analytics transforms information into actionable insight with minimal manual intervention, increasing both speed and accuracy in decision-making. Financial operations are another area where automation creates leverage. Budget tracking, invoice management, investment monitoring, and recurring payments can all be streamlined with digital tools. Automating these processes reduces the likelihood of missed deadlines, late fees, or inaccurate tracking. More importantly, it allows focus to remain on strategic allocation and growth rather than repetitive administration. By delegating routine financial tasks to reliable systems, cognitive load decreases, freeing time and energy for high-impact decision-making. Task prioritization can also be optimized through automation. Tools that schedule tasks based on urgency, deadlines, or strategic importance help ensure that effort is applied to the highest value activities first. Notifications, reminders, and workflow triggers create a structure that reduces procrastination and aligns daily actions with long-term objectives. By systematically applying effort where it matters most, the combination of human judgment and automated support enhances productivity while minimizing wasted time. Automation reduces human error in predictable operations. Repetition is inherently prone to mistakes, but systems programmed with accuracy and consistency perform without deviation. This reliability not only ensures quality, but also fosters trust in outputs. Tasks such as document generation, order fulfillment, and data entry are completed accurately, maintaining standards without constant oversight. Reducing errors saves corrective effort, which compounds time savings and enhances operational efficiency. Integration amplifies the power of automation. Combining multiple tools into cohesive systems multiplies their effectiveness. For example, an automated customer acquisition system may connect lead capture, email follow-up, and payment processing into one continuous flow. Integration ensures that processes operate smoothly, reduces manual handoffs, and allows insight to flow seamlessly across tasks. When automation is designed holistically rather than piecemeal, the cumulative effect exceeds the sum of individual tools, creating an ecosystem that scales effortlessly. Maintenance and monitoring remain essential despite automation. Systems are not infallible. Software updates, changing requirements, and unexpected anomalies require oversight. Regular review ensures that automation continues to function effectively, adapts to new conditions, and maintains alignment with objectives. Monitoring is not micromanagement, but a strategic check that ensures consistency, reliability, and maximum return on the initial investment of effort and resources. Without attention, even the most sophisticated systems may drift inefficiency. Advanced automation extends to artificial intelligence and machine learning, which can execute tasks that once required judgment, pattern recognition, or creative input. Content creation, predictive analytics, customer support, and decision-making can all benefit from AI augmentation. These tools magnify capacity exponentially, turning knowledge, strategy, and data into scalable results. Intelligent automation allows for dynamic adaptation, learning from inputs, and refining outputs to improve efficiency over time. Leveraging AI responsibly multiplies effectiveness while retaining human oversight for strategic choices. Time saved through automation is a resource for innovation and growth. Delegating repetitive tasks creates mental space to focus on high-impact activities such as strategy development, product improvement, skill building, or market exploration. Automation does not replace human creativity or judgment. It enhances it by allowing concentration on areas where insight and decision-making produce exponential returns. By reallocating cognitive resources, the potential for personal, professional, and financial growth expands dramatically. The mindset required for leveraging time effectively includes foresight, discipline, and patience. Automation implementation requires deliberate planning, testing, and refinement. Impatience can lead to partial or poorly configured systems, resulting in inefficiency rather than gain. Long-term thinking ensures that automation builds cumulative advantages rather than temporary convenience. Each step in designing, deploying, and refining automated systems compounds over time, producing sustained productivity and consistent impact. Ultimately, automation transforms labor into leverage. Tasks that once consumed hours now occur seamlessly in the background, producing consistent outcomes without ongoing attention. Each automated process is an asset, multiplying capacity and freeing human effort for activities that produce strategic value. By systematically identifying opportunities, selecting appropriate tools, implementing incrementally, integrating systems, and maintaining oversight, individuals create a framework where time is extended, energy is amplified, and results scale far beyond personal limits. Mastering automation is not about replacing human effort, but amplifying it intelligently. The disciplined application of technology converts repetitive work into consistent, reliable systems that support growth, innovation, and financial progress. By leveraging time through automation, ordinary tasks become self-sustaining processes, providing the freedom and capacity to focus on areas where influence, insight, and creativity produce the greatest long-term rewards. In this way, automation becomes the ultimate multiplier of effort, turning finite hours into boundless opportunity. Number 7. Focus intensely on one opportunity. In a world flooded with possibilities, distractions, and competing opportunities, the ability to focus intensely on a single opportunity is one of the most powerful levers for creating lasting success. Multitasking and spreading attention thin often produce minimal results because energy, time, and resources are diluted. True progress emerges from concentrated effort applied deliberately over time. When all cognitive, emotional, and physical resources are directed toward one clearly defined objective, momentum builds, obstacles become more manageable, and skill deepens in ways that scattered attention cannot achieve. The first step is identifying the right opportunity. Not all chances are worth pursuing, and discernment is key. Look for opportunities that align with strengths, knowledge, and resources, while offering meaningful potential for growth. Assess the scope, scalability, and demand inherent in the opportunity. Consider whether it addresses a real problem, provides tangible value, and can generate measurable results. Clarity about the target allows focus to be applied effectively. Selecting one opportunity does not mean settling for less. It is a strategic decision to allocate finite resources where they can create exponential impact. Once an opportunity is chosen, commit to it fully. Partial attention or hesitation undermines the power of focus. Commitment is more than intention. It is the deliberate allocation of time, energy, and resources toward developing and mastering the chosen path. Consistency compounds effort, and regular engagement builds momentum. Each day spent nurturing the opportunity adds to cumulative progress. Commitment transforms uncertainty into actionable steps, replacing doubt with a sense of direction that clarifies priorities and structures effort. Eliminate distractions that compete for attention. The environment shapes focus as much as internal discipline. Remove unnecessary notifications, minimize interruptions, and create routines that reinforce sustained engagement with the chosen opportunity. External distractions sap energy and fragment concentration, making even simple tasks more difficult and prolonging the time required to achieve meaningful results. Designing a controlled environment cultivates mental clarity, reduces stress, and allows the mind to work at full capacity, deepening understanding and enhancing problem-solving ability. Time management becomes a precision tool when focus is applied intentionally. Allocate specific blocks of uninterrupted time for high-priority tasks related to the opportunity. Treat these periods as non-negotiable appointments with progress. Avoid scheduling low-value activities during these windows and guard them against intrusions. The cumulative effect of dedicated time blocks is significant. Deep engagement accelerates learning, reduces errors, and produces outcomes that casual or scattered effort cannot match. Intensity, not just duration, defines productive focus. Depth of effort is essential. Surface-level engagement generates limited understanding, while intense focus cultivates mastery. Invest in research, experimentation, and iterative improvement. Dive deeply into the nuances, explore edge cases, and test assumptions rigorously. Each challenge encountered becomes an opportunity for insight and skill enhancement. Mastery develops over time through sustained attention and deliberate practice. The more effort is concentrated on one opportunity, the more distinctive and competitive the outcomes become, creating leverage that competitors cannot easily replicate. Resilience is built through focused pursuit. Concentrating on a single opportunity exposes weaknesses, obstacles, and unforeseen challenges. Rather than being discouraged by setbacks, view them as essential feedback. The intense application of effort provides both clarity and perspective to address these challenges systematically. Each failure encountered within the context of focused action is a lesson that strengthens the approach. Persistence under focused engagement transforms obstacles into stepping stones and consolidates knowledge and experience in ways that scattered effort cannot achieve. Prioritization sharpens focus. Within the chosen opportunity, identify tasks that produce the highest impact. Not all actions contribute equally to progress. Distinguish between what moves the objective forward and what merely consumes time. Apply effort strategically to high-value activities while delegating, delaying, or eliminating lower-impact work. Strategic prioritization ensures that concentration translates into meaningful results rather than wasted energy. When every action is purpose-driven, effort compounds in ways that multiply results exponentially over time. Mental clarity is reinforced by a single-minded approach. Constantly switching between projects or interests divides attention and creates cognitive fatigue. Focusing intensely allows for uninterrupted problem-solving, strategic thinking, and creativity. Patterns emerge, connections are recognized, and insight deepens. Complex challenges become manageable when the mind is not fragmented. Continuous engagement fosters intuition and judgment within the chosen domain, producing a level of understanding and expertise that accelerates progress and strengthens decision-making capabilities. Feedback and reflection are enhanced through focus. When attention is concentrated on one opportunity, results are more visible and measurable. This clarity allows for precise evaluation of outcomes and rapid adjustment of strategy. Track progress rigorously, analyze patterns, and refine methods based on evidence rather than assumption. Focused reflection transforms experience into actionable knowledge. Each iteration improves efficiency, increases skill, and enhances the likelihood of achieving success. The intensity of attention amplifies learning, creating an accelerating cycle of improvement. Energy management complements focus. Deep concentration requires mental and physical stamina. Prioritize rest, nutrition, and movement to sustain performance. Recognize the body and mind as critical instruments in the pursuit of mastery. Structured focus is most effective when energy is consistently replenished and directed purposefully. Attention applied without proper support diminishes over time, leading to mistakes and burnout. Balancing intensity with sustainability ensures that focus is maintained across the long-term effort required to realize the full potential of the opportunity. Commitment to one opportunity also builds reputation and authority. Consistent, concentrated effort produces tangible outcomes that demonstrate capability. Mastery becomes visible to others, attracting recognition, collaboration, and further opportunities within the same domain. The credibility gained through focused achievement reinforces momentum and provides leverage for expansion when the time is right. Reputation compounds over time, creating social and professional capital that extends influence beyond immediate results. Strategic patience is a critical companion to intense focus. Results rarely appear immediately. Meaningful progress often accumulates slowly, imperceptibly, until a tipping point is reached. Resist the urge to abandon the opportunity in search of quicker gratification. The intensity of effort, when sustained over time, produces compounding effects. Patience allows skills, relationships, and systems to mature, ensuring that outcomes are both substantial and enduring. Long-term vision transforms concentrated effort into sustainable advantage. Finally, focusing intensely does not preclude eventual expansion. Once the initial opportunity is fully developed, the systems, expertise, and processes cultivated can be leveraged to pursue adjacent possibilities. However, premature diversification dilutes impact and undermines the foundational momentum. Mastery of one domain establishes a platform for future growth, but it must be achieved sequentially, not simultaneously. Intense focus creates depth, credibility, and capability, providing the foundation from which broader ambitions can be pursued effectively. By concentrating fully on a single opportunity, resources are optimized, progress accelerates, and mastery is achieved. The discipline of intense focus amplifies results, transforms obstacles into learning experiences, and produces outcomes that scattered effort cannot replicate. Each step taken with deliberate attention compounds in value, creating leverage over time that produces tangible achievement. The power of focus is not a temporary advantage, it is a sustained strategy that converts effort, energy, and resources into measurable, lasting success. Concentrated action transforms potential into reality, turning a single opportunity into a source of enduring impact, growth, and wealth. Number 8. Document progress. Refine daily habits. Progress is rarely accidental. It is the product of intentional action, reflection, and refinement. Documenting progress and refining daily habits is the bridge between ambition and tangible results. Without consistent tracking, effort often dissipates without clear evidence of improvement, and opportunities for growth are overlooked. Habits form the invisible architecture of success, determining how energy, focus, and time are allocated. By systematically observing outcomes, recording achievements, and adjusting routines, it becomes possible to accelerate growth, eliminate inefficiency, and transform small, consistent actions into profound long-term change. Begin by creating a system for documenting progress. This does not need to be elaborate. The simplest approach is often the most sustainable. A daily journal, spreadsheet, or digital tracking tool can record key actions, milestones, and insights. The act of writing forces clarity of thought, requiring a conscious assessment of what was done, what worked, and what needs improvement. Documentation transforms vague intentions into measurable data, allowing each day to serve as both a record and a guide for the next. Without this clarity, effort remains fragmented and momentum is lost in ambiguity. Tracking progress sharpens focus by making the invisible visible. Often, the value of effort is underestimated until it is recorded systematically. Noting small wins and incremental improvements reinforces confidence and motivation. Conversely, recognizing patterns of underperformance highlights areas requiring adjustment. Documentation converts subjective perception into objective reality, enabling accurate evaluation. It becomes a mirror reflecting both achievements and areas for development, which allows informed decisions rather than relying on guesswork or fleeting inspiration. Daily habits are the engine of long-term achievement. Every behavior, repeated consistently, compounds over time. Small actions, when performed habitually, produce results far greater than sporadic bursts of effort. The key is to identify habits that align with meaningful objectives and reinforce desired outcomes. Once identified, these habits must be executed consistently, even when motivation wanes. Discipline in habit formation creates momentum, reduces reliance on willpower, and establishes an automatic system for progress. Habits, when properly cultivated, multiply the effect of deliberate action exponentially. Reflection is integral to refining habits. Documentation alone is insufficient if it does not lead to insight and adjustment. Each day, review what was achieved and compare it to intentions. Assess whether habits are producing the desired effect or if modifications are necessary. Subtle adjustments, changing timing, sequence, intensity, or context can significantly enhance effectiveness. Continuous refinement turns routine into optimization, ensuring that each repetition is not merely mechanical but strategically aligned with was. Improvement is a cumulative process. accelerated by deliberate observation and correction. Prioritize the habits with the greatest impact. Not all routines contribute equally to meaningful progress. Evaluate which daily actions produce the highest returns in skill development, productivity, and personal growth. Focus energy on these critical behaviors while reducing or eliminating low-value activities. Strategic selection ensures that time and effort are concentrated where they create the most significant outcomes. By aligning habits with objectives, progress becomes intentional and results compound over time, transforming effort into measurable advancement. Documenting setbacks is as important as recording successes. Failures, obstacles, and deviations provide crucial information for refinement. Understanding why a habit did not produce the expected outcome allows for targeted adjustments. Without recording setbacks, patterns remain hidden, and repeated mistakes consume time and energy. Reflection on failure transforms challenges into learning opportunities, building resilience and insight. Every deviation, when analyzed thoughtfully, contributes to stronger, more effective routines in the long term. Visualization enhances habit development and progress tracking. Seeing the cumulative effect of small actions through charts, streaks, or progress metrics creates motivation and reinforces accountability. Tangible representation of effort illustrates how daily routines contribute to larger goals, making long-term objectives feel attainable. When the impact of small, consistent behavior is clear, persistence becomes easier, and commitment strengthens. Visual feedback is a subtle, yet powerful tool for maintaining engagement with improvement efforts over extended periods. Adaptability is key in refining habits. Life circumstances, energy levels, and priorities change, and habits must evolve accordingly. Rigid adherence to routines without adjustment risks burnout, stagnation, or misalignment with current objectives. Periodically reassessing which actions deliver value and modifying them when necessary ensures that daily routines remain effective and relevant. The goal is not perfection, but continuous alignment between effort and outcomes. Flexibility, combined with disciplined documentation, creates a dynamic system that grows stronger over time. Accountability amplifies the effect of tracking and refinement. Sharing progress with a mentor, peer group, or accountability partner creates external pressure to maintain consistency. Reporting results encourages reflection, motivates persistence, and provides feedback from an outside perspective. Accountability transforms private routines into structured commitments, increasing the likelihood of sustained improvement. The combination of self-monitoring and external outset creates a feedback loop that accelerates habit formation and enhances performance. Leverage technology to automate reminders, track metrics, and visualize progress. Digital tools can simplify the process of recording activities, measuring outcomes, and identifying trends. Notifications, dashboards, and analytics provide actionable insight without adding unnecessary friction. Technology ensures that documentation and reflection become routine, reducing the cognitive load required to maintain consistency. When applied thoughtfully, digital systems magnify the effectiveness of habit tracking and enable precise, data-driven refinement over time. Consistency is the secret multiplier in habit formation. Daily repetition, even with small incremental improvements, compounds into significant skill, productivity, and personal growth. Discipline reinforces itself, creating momentum that reduces resistance and increases efficiency. By documenting every step and refining routines continuously, small gains accumulate exponentially. Each completed habit and recorded milestone is a building block, gradually constructing a framework for success that becomes increasingly resilient and self-reinforcing. Reflection on progress fosters self-awareness, a crucial aspect of refinement. Understanding personal patterns, energy cycles, and performance tendencies allows for better alignment between habits and natural rhythms. Self-awareness informs decisions about which actions to prioritize, when to execute them, and how to sustain effort. The combination of observation, documentation, and reflection produces not just efficiency, but insight into how personal behavior drives outcomes. Awareness of patterns empowers strategic intervention rather than reactive effort. Documenting progress creates a historical record, allowing comparison over weeks, months, and years. Long-term tracking reveals trends that are invisible in the short term. Patterns of improvement, plateau, or regression become apparent, guiding strategic adjustments. Reviewing historical records reinforces commitment, provides motivation, and validates the cumulative power of consistent action. Longitudinal insight ensures that daily effort is contextualized within the broader trajectory of personal growth, allowing refinement to be both tactical and strategic. Ultimately, success is the product of disciplined, consistent action refined over time. Documenting progress transforms routine effort into measurable advancement, while habit refinement ensures that each day contributes meaningfully to long-term objectives. Small, deliberate actions, recorded and analyzed, compound into mastery, skill, and achievement. The synergy between careful documentation and continuous improvement creates a self-sustaining system of growth. Through this process, ordinary routines become powerful engines of transformation, turning intention into results, effort into leverage, and daily discipline into lasting success. Number 9. Offer services, productize recurring demand. Offering services and productizing recurring demand is a strategy that transforms individual effort into scalable, sustainable income. Many people undervalue the potential of services because they view them as tied directly to hours worked. But when structured intelligently, services can create predictable revenue streams while solving pressing problems for others. The key lies in identifying consistent demand, standardizing delivery, and designing systems that allow the service to be replicated, scaled, and optimized over time. This approach bridges the gap between one-off transactions and long-term reliable income, turning expertise into a durable asset. Start by identifying a service that addresses a recurring need. Recurring demand exists in every market, often in areas where people face ongoing challenges, administrative burdens, or specialized requirements. Examples include bookkeeping, content creation, social media management, customer support, consulting, maintenance, coaching, or subscription-based training. The critical factor is frequency. The service should solve a problem that arises repeatedly for the target audience. Services tied to ongoing needs create a natural foundation for repeat engagement, increasing lifetime value and providing stability in income. Next, define the value proposition clearly. Understand not just what you offer, but why it matters to the client or customer. Focus on outcomes rather than tasks, emphasizing how the service solves problems, saves time, or generates revenue for the client. When the benefits are tangible and measurable, trust and demand increase. A compelling value proposition distinguishes your service from alternatives, making it easier to attract clients and justify premium pricing. Clarity in value creates a foundation for both growth and long-term engagement. Once the service is defined, standardize the delivery process, document workflows, create templates, and establish procedures to ensure consistency and efficiency. Standardization reduces reliance on individual effort and allows for scalability. Every aspect, from client onboarding to execution and follow-up, should be repeatable without sacrificing quality. Clear processes not only improve efficiency, but also enhance professionalism, client satisfaction, and retention. A service delivered reliably at high quality becomes an asset in itself, capable of generating sustained demand over time. Automation and tools can enhance efficiency and scalability. Scheduling systems, project management platforms, communication tools, and workflow automation reduce repetitive work and streamline service delivery. By removing friction from operations, focus can shift to higher value activities such as strategic planning, client relationship management, and service improvement. Technology is not a replacement for skill, but a force multiplier that allows services to be delivered consistently and efficiently, freeing human energy for tasks that require judgment, creativity, and personal touch. Recurring revenue can be secured by structuring services as subscriptions or retainer-based engagements. This approach transforms unpredictable, one-off transactions into predictable income streams. Clients benefit from consistent support and ongoing value, while service providers gain stability and the ability to plan growth strategically. Subscription models incentivize long-term relationships, deepen client trust, and allow for continual refinement of offerings. By designing services around recurring needs, it becomes possible to create a foundation for scaling impact without linearly increasing effort. Packaging services into standardized offerings enhances both clarity and scalability. Instead of selling a nebulous hours of work, design defined packages with clear deliverables, timelines, and pricing. Clients understand exactly what they receive, and the provider can deliver efficiently and predictably. Productized services reduce ambiguity, improve client satisfaction, and facilitate onboarding. Standardized packages also make marketing more straightforward because the offering can be communicated clearly to prospective clients, highlighting outcomes rather than inputs. Collecting feedback and iterating on service design is essential for long-term growth. Regularly evaluate client satisfaction, operational efficiency, and financial performance. Identify bottlenecks, refine processes, and enhance features to increase value and efficiency. Continuous improvement ensures that the service remains relevant, competitive, and aligned with client needs. Iterative refinement transforms an initial offering into a mature, optimized system capable of delivering consistent results while reducing friction and effort over time. Leveraging networks amplifies demand and reach. Word of mouth, referrals, and partnerships expose the service to new audiences, increasing scalability without direct marketing costs. Building strong client relationships and exceeding expectations naturally encourages recommendations and repeat engagements. Collaboration with complementary service providers can expand offerings, address broader needs, and create mutually beneficial ecosystems. Networks multiply the effectiveness of the core service, extending reach and reinforcing credibility in ways that direct effort alone cannot achieve. Financial discipline and pricing strategy are integral. Standardize costs, track profitability, and ensure that pricing reflects both value delivered and sustainability. Avoid undervaluing recurring services, as doing so undermines scalability and long-term viability. Pricing should balance accessibility with the need for profitability, creating a model that supports growth, reinvestment, and high-quality delivery. By understanding both client value perception and internal costs, recurring services become a reliable engine for wealth creation rather than a series of ad hoc engagements. Time management complements the productization of recurring demand. Focus attention on onboarding, delivering, and improving high-value services rather than getting lost in administrative or peripheral tasks. Allocate resources strategically to activities that drive retention, client satisfaction, and operational efficiency. By prioritizing efforts that have multiplicative impact, the service system becomes self-sustaining, freeing time for strategic growth initiatives. Efficient time allocation ensures that energy is invested where it produces measurable returns, rather than being consumed by routine, low-impact work. Documentation and tracking of performance metrics strengthen decision-making. Track client satisfaction, delivery timelines, recurring engagement rates, and revenue per client. Quantitative insight informs strategy, highlights opportunities for improvement, and ensures that decisions are evidence-based rather than reactive. Measuring outcomes not only validates success, but also identifies areas where refinement can enhance efficiency, client experience, and profitability. Data-driven iteration converts subjective effort into strategic advantage, transforming recurring services into a predictable, optimized system. Scaling recurring services becomes possible once processes, systems, and packages are refined. Hire, train, or partner with others to increase capacity without compromising quality. Delegation allows focus to remain on strategy, innovation, and market expansion. By treating the service as a replicable product, operations can expand to serve more clients simultaneously while maintaining consistency and satisfaction. Scaling is not about expanding indiscriminately. It is about multiplying impact while retaining control over quality and outcomes. The combination of service delivery and productization creates leverage. Effort applied once can generate repeated value across multiple clients. Processes, templates, and systems amplify individual contribution, producing results far beyond what manual effort alone could achieve. Each iteration, refinement, and standardization compounds, turning time and expertise into a structured, self-sustaining framework. By converting knowledge and skill into systems capable of handling recurring demand, personal capacity is extended and influence is magnified. Ultimately, offering services and productizing recurring demand bridges the gap between skill and scalable income. It transforms human expertise into systems, predictability, and sustainable revenue. By identifying recurring needs, standardizing delivery, leveraging technology, structuring subscriptions or packages, collecting feedback, and refining processes, services evolve from sporadic work into long-term, self-reinforcing assets. This approach empowers individuals to convert capability into influence, effort into leverage, and expertise into enduring value, establishing a foundation for both financial stability and meaningful impact. Number 10. Remove distractions. Prioritize income activities. Distractions are the silent killers of productivity and wealth creation. Time wasted on low-value activities erodes potential, drains energy, and delays progress toward meaningful goals. Removing distractions and prioritizing income-generating activities is not just about working harder. It is about working smarter. Every moment spent on unimportant tasks is an opportunity lost. By deliberately choosing where attention is placed, it becomes possible to transform ordinary effort into extraordinary results. The discipline to focus relentlessly on high-value activities separates those who build lasting success from those who merely drift through busy work. The first step is awareness. Identify what truly consumes your attention and energy throughout the day. Social media, unnecessary meetings, trivial emails, and constant notifications fragment focus. Many distractions are disguised as productivity, but in reality, they create minimal value. Recognizing these time drains requires honest self-assessment and careful observation. Keep a log of daily activities to pinpoint patterns of wasted time. Awareness is the prerequisite to change. Without understanding where effort is being diverted, it is impossible to reclaim control over priorities. Next, classify activities based on their impact on income or long-term objectives. High-value activities are those that directly contribute to revenue, skill development, business growth, or strategic positioning. Low-value activities, while sometimes necessary for convenience or minor social obligations, rarely advance meaningful goals. The distinction between urgent and important is critical here. Urgent tasks may demand attention, but contribute little to financial or personal growth, while important activities, though less immediately pressing, produce significant results over time. Clear categorization allows energy to be allocated intentionally rather than reactively. Eliminate or minimize low-value activities wherever possible. Set strict boundaries for social media usage. Reduce unnecessary email checks. Decline meetings without clear purpose, and streamline routine tasks. Every eliminated distraction frees mental space, reduces decision fatigue, and amplifies focus. It is not about deprivation, but about intentional choice, choosing where attention is applied in service of high-impact outcomes. The ability to say no consistently is a skill that multiplies both efficiency and effectiveness. Prioritization is the core of effective time management. Create a hierarchy of tasks based on their potential to generate income or long-term growth. High-priority activities should dominate daily schedules, while less critical tasks are delegated, automated, or postponed. Use frameworks such as the 85-20 principle to identify the small number of actions that produce the majority of results. By consistently prioritizing high-impact tasks, effort is concentrated where it creates the greatest return, transforming time into leverage rather than a wasted resource. Time blocking enhances focus and reinforces discipline. Dedicate specific periods exclusively to income-generating activities, free from interruptions or multitasking. Treat these blocks as non-negotiable commitments. Structured periods of concentrated work allow deep engagement, accelerate progress, and improve the quality of output. Interruptions during these times dilute effectiveness, so design the environment to support focus, whether by silencing notifications, organizing the workspace, or using tools to minimize interruptions. Deliberate control over time allocation ensures that energy is spent on tasks that truly matter. Batching similar tasks amplifies efficiency. Grouping related actions reduces context switching, which consumes energy and slows performance. For instance, handle all email correspondence in a single session, process administrative tasks together, or plan content creation in focused intervals. Batching allows the mind to operate in a continuous flow, improving speed and accuracy. By organizing tasks logically and reducing unnecessary shifts in focus, energy can be preserved for strategic and income-producing work. Leverage delegation to remove bottlenecks. Identify tasks that can be performed by others without compromising quality or outcomes. Administrative chores, research, routine communication, and operational support are often excellent candidates for delegation. Outsourcing these tasks frees the individual to concentrate on activities that generate revenue, build skills, or advance strategic objectives. Effective delegation is a force multiplier. It allows impact to scale beyond the limits of personal effort and time. Automation is another powerful tool for minimizing distractions and enhancing focus. Automate repetitive, predictable, and low-value tasks such as scheduling, billing, reporting, or social media posting. Automation reduces errors, frees mental bandwidth, and ensures consistency in execution. By delegating routine processes to technology, cognitive resources are preserved for high-level problem-solving, creative thinking, and decision-making that directly influence income and growth. Automation turns time-consuming tasks into seamless background processes, amplifying productivity. Set clear goals to maintain focus on high-value activities. Specific, measurable and time-bound objectives create a roadmap for daily action. Each task should be evaluated based on its contribution to these goals, ensuring that energy is consistently aligned with desired outcomes. Without clear objectives, even high-effort work can drift into ineffectiveness. Goal clarity provides a framework for prioritization, decision-making and consistent progress, reducing the likelihood of distraction or wasted effort. Regularly review and adjust priorities. Circumstances, opportunities and market conditions change, and what constitutes high-value activity may shift over time. Daily or weekly reflection allows reassessment of tasks, ensuring continued alignment with income and growth objectives. This process maintains agility while sustaining focus, preventing complacency and maximizing the effectiveness of effort. Consistent evaluation ensures that energy is continually applied where it has the greatest impact. Discipline is reinforced through environment design. Physical and digital surroundings influence attention and behavior. Remove clutter, organize tools, and structure spaces to minimize friction and temptation. Limit access to distractions and create cues that reinforce high-value work. A supportive environment reduces reliance on willpower alone and embeds productive behavior into the daily routine. By aligning surroundings with priorities, focus becomes easier and more sustainable over time. Energy management complements distraction elimination. High-value activities require mental clarity, stamina, and emotional resilience. Optimize sleep, nutrition, exercise, and restorative practices to sustain peak performance. Attention is a finite resource, and maintaining it requires care. When energy is prioritized alongside focus, the quality and speed of income-generating activities improve, reinforcing progress and results. Mindset plays a pivotal role. Treat each day as a series of deliberate choices where attention and effort are applied with intent. Avoid succumbing to novelty, gossip, or low-impact engagements that offer temporary gratification but minimal long-term benefit. Cultivate a mental framework that consistently evaluates actions based on contribution to meaningful outcomes. The discipline to align effort with value is both an internal and external practice, shaping habits, routines, and ultimately results. Tracking results reinforces focus and informs refinement. Monitor time spent on income-producing activities versus distractions to quantify effectiveness. Measurement highlights inefficiencies, validates strategies, and provides actionable insights for improvement. Transparent evaluation ensures that attention is not misallocated and allows for continuous optimization. By linking effort to outcome, the impact of focused work becomes visible, motivating continued discipline and strategic decision-making. By removing distractions and prioritizing high-value income-generating activities, ordinary effort transforms into amplified results. Every choice to focus, delegate, automate, or eliminate non-essential tasks compounds over time, producing exponential growth in productivity, skill, and revenue. Attention becomes a strategic asset, effort becomes leverage, and daily work aligns with long-term objectives. Mastery of focus and prioritization creates the foundation for sustained wealth creation, turning limited hours into boundless opportunity. Through deliberate elimination of distractions, disciplined prioritization, and strategic allocation of time and energy, individuals can maximize their productivity and accelerate financial growth. Focused action is the multiplier that converts intention into measurable achievement. Every day becomes an opportunity to concentrate on what truly matters, producing results that accumulate steadily and reliably. By mastering attention, aligning effort with impact, and systematically removing what detracts from progress, ordinary effort evolves into extraordinary outcomes, building lasting wealth, influence, and success.